The Edmonton Convention Centre will be the site of the temporary 24/7 pandemic accommodation space. Better than tents and safer than camps, and we're going to have it open by the end of October. Now, it's going to be a big job, and it'll take a lot of good work, partnership work. But the good news is we know we can do it. We've done it already. We did it when we set up the Expo Centre earlier in 2020. Now, if you've got time, watch this video, the story of the Expo Centre, what we did, what we learned, and who it was set up for. And I can assure you we will draw on these lessons in the months ahead because it will take all of us. But take a look.
I'm a mom and I'm trying to make the best of my life and get back to being a family. I've been homeless for a little while. That's a big adjustment for me. You suffer a lot. You keep to yourself. You don't want to speak to anyone, and it's a big, scary world out there. With Expo having open doors, it was just a really good sense of relief.
Our big job is really keeping people healthy and keeping people safe while on this site.
Bissell is an organization that's trying to end poverty in our community, not because we need everyone to be rich, but because we know that that saves lives.
Our way of saving lives, I think, is to look at the person, believe in them, and ensure that they are treated with respect and dignity.
Housing is health, and housing ultimately is going to be the solution to this entire response.
The Expo Centre will be used for surge capacity. Alberta Health Services and staffing will be coordinated by Homeward Trust. Our staff is currently setting up the Expo Centre, and the plan is to have it fully running by Monday.
Change is not easy, especially when it's sprung on you and you don't really have a choice. Staying in the shelter and everything was pretty normal. You were there every night, and then one day you wake up and they're telling you about different places you can go because capacity is cut to half. To have those places closed is just now what am I going to do? I'm not originally from this place. So I lost contact with my family for a while, and that was awful. My mother had filed a missing persons report during this COVID pandemic because she couldn't get a hold of me. And I couldn't get a hold of her. All the businesses were closed. There was no access to any phone. Struggling to make it to, places to eat and places to sleep. It was really rough.
What would we do if during the day we had absolutely nowhere to go and we didn't know where we were going to get a meal? And the places that might have been available to us in our life and that we'd kind of relied on for those resources were gone and they were closed. We all have had some of those experiences where our life had to adapt and change because a lot of things closed, but none of it relative to I can't eat today and I have nowhere to go and I've got nowhere to shower and I've got nowhere to just even basic hygiene. So that would be the alternative to Expo not being available.
On average, maybe 400 people would come through our doors every day. To keep people healthy, we had to reduce that to 50 people or less in our space. Meanwhile, we're having conversations with Boyle Street and with the city and with Homeward Trust saying we're going to need to do something together to respond to keep this population healthy. What if we came together physically? What if there was a space in the city that we could use? What if this could happen? That was Friday, and Monday we opened.
We're used to when opportunity knocks, we answer the door and we get moving. A lot of it was about that really strong combination of having players like the city and Alberta Health Services and Expo who had resources, but also players like Boyle Street and Bissell and Homeward Trust and Boyle Macaulay who are used to seeing a problem, being thoughtful, but getting going with it.
I stayed at the Kinsman temporary shelter. They were running a charter bus from the Kinsman shelter to the Expo. The charter buses were an absolute lifesaver because they bring you back and forth. I found the community supports that are around here are fantastic. After I got a hold of my mother, it was so much relief for her. I'm still really big on family. Still try and communicate with my family as much as possible. To have a hot meal is just absolutely amazing. And having a place to stay, that's even more amazing. It makes such a difference that the lights aren't going to automatically go off in the middle of the night, and I can sit up and read beside a lamp or draw. They have showers you can sign up for. They even do your laundry, which is amazing.
You know what, the Expo has been a perfect building to operate what we're operating in. And I must say, one of the best things about Expo is their staff. Their staff are phenomenal. They are so supportive and have welcomed the agencies and the service with open arms.
Hard to imagine where else we might be able to achieve this. When we started to work through what the distancing requirements would have to be during the day, recognizing that people are not just sharing one space, but we have to bring a lot of services together, nowhere else could we accommodate the number of services and the number of people with this square footage. It may be easy to forget that this really is a health response, and the very early decisions about how we needed to protect the health of our most vulnerable community members needed to have a health lens. And so it was really the engagement of community, the city, others, and Alberta Health Services applying that lens to all of our solutions.
I think that one of the best things about this is that we're doing the right thing for people who really need it, but we're also really working together.
Our main partners on the isolation shelter side is Boyle-McCullough Health Centre, supported by Alberta Health Services. And on the day drop-in side, it's Homewood Trust, it's Bissell Centre, it's Boyle Street. We have Hope Mission that supports here, and Mustard Seed. We also have a number of other agencies that truly do a lot to support the day-to-day operations here at the Expo Centre.
We do the assessment of each person who comes in, and then upon admission, they see a physician, they have access to a physician or a nurse practitioner. But we also work really hard to keep them connected with any other services that they need or are receiving in the community.
So if you came to the day drop-in, first thing that would happen when you came in the doors would be someone would sit down with you just for a couple minutes to ask your name and why you're there today, whether you have housing or not. So basically, where did you sleep last night? Because ultimately, the best response to keep people safe during this crisis is for them to be housed in their own homes. That's the only reason that we as a city have had to come together to make a day shelter, is because folks don't have a place to safely self-isolate to avoid contracting COVID.
For the last 9 years, my mind and pretty much everything has been about, improving my life so that things could be different. The instability and not being able to have, a place to call home has just been really, really much of a setback. Without the Boyle Street, I wouldn't have ever talked to housing because I didn't know where to go or how to access any of those. I thought it'd be another application that you did on paper, but when I went to the Boyle Street, there was actual people, and they're like, oh hey, we'll do this for you, but you just have to tell us you want to and come check in. Just talking to housing now and how much they push to try and help you, and they're looking for spots. It's very nice.
So we started on March 23rd, and by May 15th, 341 people had come through the doors of Expo and exited into housing.
Believing in people, ensuring that they have income, ensuring that they have housing, that when they leave here, maybe they're better off than they were.
So if you're looking at, 750 people a day for the number of days that we've been open and the isolation shelter, we have checked those people for health. We have provided services. We have provided 3 meals a day for folks that need access to food.
So keeping people safe from the elements saves lives. Giving people a safe place to sleep saves lives. Giving people food to eat, obviously, and then finding them a way to sustain themselves going forward saves lives.
Our society is desperately looking to kind of get back to at least the familiar, if not the normal. The reality of the lack of housing that we have for individuals right now so that they can go back to anything, that we don't want that. We don't want them to go back to whatever that normal was. We want them to go back to housing.
To me, it's about who are we in Edmonton? Who are we as a city and a society? We're better when we're taking care of everybody. We're all better. We all benefit.
The thing I've learned and the thing that's been affirmed so much to me here is just how together our community is, how much we want to see a different future for the folks in our community who are vulnerable, and how much in practice we can do it. And we have done it, and this is one example that demonstrates that.
As soon as I have the stability, something solid to hold on to, I can't wait to have my son back in my life. And you know, it's been a really, really long, hard road to get here. Knowing that I have a spot to move forward from being, you know, transient all the time where I'm staying in a shelter every night, or, you know, having to worry about where I'm going to sleep, to knowing I have a place, pretty great. Those little lights throughout the community, they're amazing. Like, I can't thank them enough.
It's a great story. Thanks to everyone who played a role in making it possible here in our city. It was true then, and it's still true, that housing is health. Now, the Expo Centre isn't the only location for this kind of 24/7 accommodation that we have in mind. The accommodation space that will be open until March of next year will be at the Edmonton Convention Centre. And here's what isn't changing, though. Edmontonians are capable of extraordinary generosity, and our council has taken a leadership role to make sure that no one will be left out in the cold, no one will be left behind in this pandemic. So thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of making this positive change in our city.